Hey, Justin, Dylan Hopkins, the front stretch. So you're coming off an Xfinity Series championship, a Daytona 500 start with Junior Motorsports, which you got a top 10, and now you already have 3 wins in 14 races in this season, and you're leading the point standings by a pretty large margin.
Yep.
As far as your career goes, is this the best you've ever been?
I'm in the best position I've ever been. I don't know that me personally as a driver, if I'm as good as I've ever been, right? I don't know that there's a certain point in time where age and experience and talent and just all the details that kind of play into what makes a good race car driver cross over. I think that the resources and the tools that we have today are obviously this young generation of race car driver coming in. It's incredible to watch how good they are at such a young age. I mean, Connor's a great example of that. Really, our whole organization, right? Between Sammy, Carson, and Connor, just 3 great, talented race car drivers that push me to be better. It's interesting because I'm working harder today than I've ever worked, right? Off the racetrack, in the simulator, watching film, studying with Jim Pullman and this 7 group, and going through all of the resources that we have. I spend probably, 10 times the amount of time right now than I did, 10 years ago, right? But to be relevant and to be good in this sport, I think you got to put the effort into it. And because of what we have now, these younger drivers are doing that, and I have to do what I can to keep up with it. So, the car is so important. There are so many guys that I feel like could do what I'm doing in my race car because of how good it is. And I have a great relationship with Jim Pullman and everybody on the 7 team, and that makes it better. But I'm just really proud of the quality of race car that I get to sit in week and week out makes all the difference in the world, and this team is what's providing that right now.
Is this the happiest you've ever been?
That term's relative, to be honest with you. Yeah, no, I mean, there have been times where I've been less successful on the track and been equally as happy or happier. But I think that for me, I'm in a different position in life. Probably what made me the most happy tonight was my 2 girls being able to ride to victory lane with me in the car, seeing my wife and seeing the smile on her face. The family that travels with me, my mom and dad are sitting in the back there, right? My mother-in-law's here tonight. The family that travels to the racetrack, and they're a part of what I do week in and week out. That probably the hardest part for me is my family doesn't travel nearly as much anymore, right? And when you have moments like tonight, they were all there last week, obviously it's home. So when you don't win, you're like, man, I just gave up. And I don't know if anybody saw the photo. My mother-in-law posted a photo on Facebook last week of Willow when the checker flag flew, and she had her head in her hands. She was just like so dejected, right? Last week was her birthday, and all she wanted was to go to victory lane, and it crushes you as a dad, right? Like that you can't deliver on something that your kids want. But even yesterday, she was standing. We went to the mall yesterday, and she was standing there, and she was holding up 2 fingers because that's what we did in the last race, and she was going woo, and she was like, I want to do that tomorrow, and we did that. So and she was all in. So I think for me, my joy of what makes me happy today is probably not what it was 10 years ago or 15 years ago. Those are the things that make me happy. Running good on the racetrack is great, and I love it. But it's the little details that make me happy now.